Hello, all you wise people that are seeking to make a difference in the world, at the very least, to make a difference in your world, who are dissatisfied with the status quo, who desire to have change and to grow, and that truly is a wise thing to do. We're looking today in Psalm 41. It's a challenging message today. Challenging. Whoa. Verse 9 says, "Even my close friend, whom I trusted, he who shared bread with me, has lifted up his heel against me." Psalm 41, verse 9. David has taken out his prophetic telescope and he looks into the future and writes about the treachery of Judas. In the Gospel of John, Jesus applied this verse directly to his betrayer. What is it about Judas that made Jesus want to include him in the 12 apostles? Even after praying all night, he still chose Judas to be part of his inner circle. Chose Judas for a friend. The psalmist says he was a close friend. So when Judas greeted Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus said, "Hello, my friend." And Luke writes that Judas betrayed Jesus with a kiss. We don't think of the friendship Jesus had with Judas. We don't think of the times they shared together, how for some time there was something likable about Judas, how Jesus could enjoy him and that they laughed together and ate meals together. And we don't think of how Judas sat at Jesus' feet like the others, how he wanted to follow Jesus just as much as the others, how he was just as called and just as chosen as the others. To think Judas had a legitimate relationship isn't something that we even consider, because Judas is cast in the story as a villain. And in the Gospels, he's introduced as the betrayer. But Luke adds one thing. It says, Judas became a traitor. In the Gospel of Luke, he says, Judas became a traitor. In other words, he didn't start out that way. He started his walk with Jesus just like everybody else. He started his walk by saying yes. A lot of traitors don't start out looking like a traitor. The lesson of Judas is this: check your own heart. Examine your own heart. Now, you can only be betrayed by someone in your inner circle. They've got to get close to you, or there's nothing to betray. There's no love to cheat on, no bond to destroy. To form that level of relationship takes time and laughter and experience and history, and memories, fond memories are formed. A stranger can't betray you. There has to be trust, friendship. It's got to be a partnership or a marriage or a covenant or love. Psalm 41 says Jesus has been there, that he went through it all. Every time you have been betrayed, Jesus has been there. And he took it all to the cross, took that sin to the cross, and he forgave and he let it die. And then Jesus showed us how to respond. And it's so counterintuitive, you'll think it's impossible. At the Last Supper, while Judas was working on the blind side, Jesus was feeding him. That's why the Bible can say, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. And then Jesus tells us, love your enemies and bless those that curse you and do good to them that hate you and pray for them who despitefully use you. Know this, it's not within a man or a woman to be so graceful. The only way that you can love somebody who's betrayed you, the only way you can love your betrayer and serve your betrayer and pray for your betrayer is to become broken bread and poured out wine and let Jesus minister to them through you. It's impossible to be in this world and not be betrayed. The question is, how are you going to go through all of that hell and not end up bitter and twisted, getting angry, getting even, feeling destroyed, seeking revenge, telling everyone how you've been wronged, turning your children against him, turning your friends against him? It's not going to be easy. It's going to be demanding. It will take that aspect of worship. Remember, we're in the Psalms, and so this is all about worship. It will take that aspect of worship that we call sacrifice. So as Jesus went from the Last Supper, he walked out to the Garden of Gethsemane, and he ended up at the cross where he was sacrificed. So too, we've got to take all of our brokenness, that betrayal that we experienced at our Last Supper, our last time with that person. We've got to take all of our brokenness to the cross. The cross is where we access forgiveness. It's not just where we're forgiven. It's where we find that mysterious capacity to be able to forgive. The cross is where we find atonement, where we align our lives with God and become like Jesus. At the cross, all of those things that we wrestle with are destroyed and defeated. And you can read about that in Colossians chapter 2, verse 15. That those things that are against us, those powers and principalities were destroyed at the cross. Now, if you can use your brokenness to bring you closer to the feet of Jesus instead of allowing your pain to drive you away, then heaven wins, and so do you. And that's the wisdom of Psalm 41. So God bless you, you wise people. I pray in the name of Jesus that all of you who have been betrayed and broken and hurt and messed up and destroyed will find in Jesus everything that you need to be able to lift your head and lift your eyes and say, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. I pray that you'll be set free and that you'll walk through the rest of this day and the rest of your life free. Yes, may that be so in the name of Jesus, and we'll see you again tomorrow.